Prologue. Intertwined with the tales of yore and the songs of the new dawn is my name, Beornwulf Ragnorson, a title resonating across the vast cerulean spread of the Bay of Auschwitz, echoing the valorous strains of the Golden Phoenix. My lineage traces back to a man of honor and fortitude, my grandfather, a sturdy fisherman who defied the roiling seas to the north of my birthplace. My roots burrowed deep into a hamlet, now only a faint memory, nestled amidst the gentle ebb of waves and hushed whispers of the wind, once known as Black Boat. This name, lost in time, evokes visions of spectral ships against a silver moon, the rustle of sailors' cloaks, and a profound silence punctuated by the hunter's call amidst nocturnal pursuits. Black Boat, a spectral echo on the canvas of history, has been consumed by the relentless passage of time, its existence erased from the king's intricate cartography. In the wake of Black Boat's disappearance, the austere visage of Bloodsworth has ascended, built from the remains of a once glorious past, now a disquieting symbol of a dystopian present. Born out of the scorched earth by barbarians post the War of Occupation, Bloodsworth embodies the brutal transformation of prosperous lands into scenes of violence and despair. Now Bloodsworth, with its labyrinth of narrow streets and an undercurrent of whispers, sits within the fortified borders of Harper's rule. It is not the indigenous sons and daughters who govern, but the invaders who once wreaked havoc. All these unfolded under the watchful yet distant gaze of our king, Alfred. Nonetheless, I, Beornwulf Ragnorson, remain steadfast against the looming darkness. Fueled by a blazing heart and an unyielding resolve, I repudiate the idea that my beloved homeland might share a similar grim fate. Standing resolute against the capricious currents of change, I am committed to preserving the hard-earned freedom of my people, a legacy of those who preceded us. The golden phoenix of the Bay of Auschwitz shall not bow but rise, always, from the ashes. The term "my people" is no figurative expression. As the son of Baron Harold Sixfingers, the Baron of the Bay, Auschwitz is my birthright, a treasure inherited through bloodlines. Secluded within my father's extensive library during my formative years, I chanced upon ancient scrolls holding a royal promise. This pledge, engraved by the king himself, guaranteed lands marked by runestones bearing the cryptic letters XAI to belong to my lineage for as long as the earth breathes. As a token of appreciation for my father's heroic service to the realm, these lands were bestowed upon him, witnessed by both divine and mortal eyes. Discovering these runestones, concealed by years of neglect but exactly where the king's map indicated, validated the authenticity of the royal promise. I knew then I was destined to succeed my father, to bear the title of Baron upon his demise. It was a mantle I would don with pride, even if it had been tarnished under my father, Harold's rule. Harold, my father, is a ghost of the man he once was. He suffers silently in the shroud of night, drowned in mead and cursing the world for his affliction. Yet, before his fall, he was a celebrated hero of the 100 Years' War. While serving in the Raven's Guard, he fought bravely under a legendary general in countless battles for King Alfred, only to return home a shattered man. As a reward for his sacrifice, King Alfred conferred upon him the title of Baron in the year of our Lord 109. This title placed him above the freemen, yet beneath the nobles in the realm of King Alfred. But the king's intention was not to honour Harold's service, but to further bind him under his rule. Harold, discerning the power dynamics, yearned for a peaceful retirement, yet the king denied him this. As time went by, Harold transformed into a mere puppet of the king, coming to loathe the title he had earned through blood and sacrifice. Eventually, he renounced his steel crown and his duty of tax collection, blaming a mysterious mental ailment for his inability to govern. Yet I knew this was his silent rebellion. My mother, the dignified Lady Rowena, assumed the mantle of governance and household management in my father's stead, thereby potentially saving his life from King Alfred's wrath. It is known that one cannot defy King Alfred indefinitely without risking one's life. Lady Rowena, recognizing this peril, did everything in her power to shield Harold. My mother, Lady Rowena, was a beacon of kindness and justice, a beloved baroness whose fairness breathed a sense of liberty into our people's lives. Under her wise leadership, Auschwitz thrived, attracting settlers who built homes, opened businesses, and sparked a bustling economy. Ours was known as the town of carp, where these fish, hauled in abundance from the bay, were shipped far and wide. We also hosted a prosperous jewelry market, with our port bustling with the exchange of various goods. Rowena enabled the common man to shape a comfortable life for his family, fostering an environment of growth and prosperity. Beyond her obligations to the crown, Lady Rowena was an avid gardener and angler. Childhood memories are filled with images of her standing by the bay, fishing net in hand. Every catch she made would elicit a radiant smile that would stir celebrations throughout the village. Rowena caught another fish became our town's optimistic adage, implying that it was a day ripe with happiness and reasons to smile. Her influence was so profound that upon her demise, barrels of mead were drained dry in communal mourning. Too young to drink, I sought solace in different ways, but the pain of loss always lingered, as did memories of her long brown hair billowing in the wind, sparkling blue eyes, and her slender frame. My father said that I was her mirror image, a resemblance so stark he struggled to meet my gaze, for it only served to intensify his grief. Lady Rowena's life was tragically extinguished shortly after my 12th namesday when she gave birth to my sister Mercy. Her departure from our world was abrupt, leaving us with little time to brace ourselves for the grief. The day she passed away marked the end of joy within our household. She was the adhesive that held us together. Without her, everything started falling apart. Following her demise, my father, Harold, succumbed to the clutches of alcohol, plunging into an abyss of despair from which he would never emerge. His inner demons were unshackled, and with Rowena's absence, there was no one left to mend his fractured heart. Our once thriving town started to crumble. Businesses shuttered their doors, and residents fled in search of more promising horizons. This mass exodus included our guards and household servants, leaving us in a castle now echoing with the whispers of ghosts. My sister Mercy was christened after a desperate plea for divine intervention when she was brought into this world by the midwives. That day, our cries for mercy echoed first for my mother's salvation and then to assuage her anguish. Though initially I struggled to see mercy as a blessing, time forged a bond between us as we navigated our fears and uncertainties in the face of our father's transformation. Initially, I resented her, blaming her for my mother's demise, but gradually I set aside my grief, embracing the bond that was growing between us. It was fortuitous that I did so because, like our mother, Mercy emanated kindness. In the ensuing years, I found myself in the role of her guardian, treating her like the child I didn't have, fearful of what would become of her if I was not there. Despite my distaste for Harold, he was not an inherently cruel man. His infliction was seldom physical, but took a more insidious form, staining our souls with emotional turmoil. A man lost in his sorrows, frequenting the Bayside Tavern, he was absent when we needed him the most. His negligence compelled us to raise ourselves and discover joy on our own terms as we witnessed his gradual demise within the confines of our castle. A blade on the battlefield couldn't vanquish him, but my mother's death rendered him a living shell, incapable of providing for Mercy. When I reached the age of 18, my life took an unexpected turn. In King Alfred's realm, it was customary for the eldest offspring to be taken into the king's service, a reality I initially dismissed as a cautionary tale until I fell victim to it. Despite our family's tribulations, I clung to hope, naively believing that my father wouldn't relinquish any more to a king he seldom spoke well of. I thought the ravens and King Alfred would soon fade into obscurity. Such were the musings of a foolish boy. My departure from home was spurred not only by the reality of our impending destitution, but also by the looming threat of a bleak future. My father knew that staying would inevitably lead me down the path of dishonesty merely to keep food on our table. His decision, though it seemingly cast me towards an untimely demise, was aimed at forging a man out of me. Perhaps, in this kingdom, death by the sword is considered honourable, an escape from the harsh reality of life. However, what pained me the most was leaving Mercy behind. My hope is that she understands I had no choice. It is she who gives me the resolve to endure. The prospect of my death is not what frightens me. It is the possibility of failing Mercy that fills me with dread. Yet, if you're out there, Mercy, and if my words reach you, know I am fighting to create a future for you, where survival doesn't demand constant pain. I pledge to return to you. I don't know how long it will take, but I promise to stay alive, to never surrender. I will provide the life you deserve, rule our lands as our mother did, restoring our town to its former glory. The kingdom's affairs have merely postponed my plans. I yearn for the day when I can hold you in my arms again and witness your innocent smile. I will return, Mercy. For you, I will survive. It is a question that haunts me still, how King Alfred, in his royal conscience, could justify conscripting every firstborn into his academy, as though our birth order bestowed upon him the right to shape our destinies. Some, however, accept this fate with grace, viewing it as a noble obligation. My father was one such individual. In his youth, he understood that graduation from the academy meant a place within the Raven's Guard, a role imbued with honor and respect that enriched our family with a steady income and permitted us to establish our residence by the bay amidst the seclusion of a private castle, a castle that was, nevertheless, steeped in sorrow. King Alfred's influence extended beyond our household. His private army, the Raven's Guard, acted as a powerful symbol, swaying 10 other houses into pledging their loyalty to his reign, the most formidable on our land. Perhaps the king believed that by positioning enough barons and nobles across the land, his reign would remain unchallenged, allowing his kingdom to prosper under his stewardship. Our world extends beyond Alfred's kingdom to encompass 3 other realms, each vying for control, none deserving of victory. Each kingdom embodies its unique strain of malevolence, coveting the wealth of the land for their gain. Among these, my animosity towards King Alfred towers above the rest. His decree tore me from my family, and even after years of dedicated service, his punishments continued. I have been reduced to an object for barter, bought, sold, and traded. I have pledged loyalties and broken them. Born in one land and raised in another, my identity is fragmented. Yet 3 unshakable truths form the cornerstone of my existence. I am Beornwulf, the son of Harold, hailing from the Bay of Archtavitzi and the rightful heir to this land. I have made an oath of protection towards my sister, which I intend to fulfill, whatever the cost. I am a faithful husband, my commitment symbolized by an amulet worn close to my heart. I exist on the edge of 2 worlds, a liminal figure, symbolized by the golden phoenix, emblematic of my transformation into a warrior feared throughout the land. My story is a long, melancholic tale, yet it is a tale that must be told to prevent its recurrence. We must find a better way forward, a way that doesn't involve King Alfred or his ravens.